please rise? And Trustee Clark, would you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Clerk Blau, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Clark? Trustee Drapka?
Present accounted for.
Supervisor Wilt?
Present.
Let the record note, Trustee Hollenbach and Trustee Lupfer are not in attendance, and that Kirk Blau is in attendance.
Trustee Heilenbach did ask to be excused. For the record, he did notify us, and I have not heard that Trustee Lupfer won't be here, so hopefully he'll be coming in shortly. But we do have a quorum, so we will proceed. Madam Clerk, are there any communications?
Do we need to approve the minutes?
Oh, that would help, wouldn't it?
You just rushed right there tonight.
Yeah, I knew it was a short meeting, didn't realize it was that short. Yes, you have minutes of the November 20th board meeting in your packets. What is your pleasure?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the board meeting of November 20th.
I second.
I have a motion by Trustee Clark, seconded by Trustee Drapka, to approve the minutes of the November 20th meeting. Are there any additions or corrections?
My question is, are the phone hearings on Maplewood? Because I thought they were on Woodside. But I could be wrong. I mean, they could have moved.
That was based on the sign-in sheet?
Sign-in sheet is what they put on there.
Okay, all right, on Maplewood? Okay, so,
I don't have the original sheet with me, but I'll double check that, Mayor.
okay.
And
That's
if
what,
it's, I will amend the minutes.
yeah, that's
if
what,
need be.
and you know, maybe they could have moved, or I'm getting them mixed up with somebody else. But that would be, it would, and that's a very minor thing.
Okay, anything else? Then hearing no other additions or corrections, I have a motion and a second to approve these minutes. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion is carried. Thank you. Now, we'll go to communications.
I have to apologize to the board. I received a thank you note, and it was sometime in September or August, and that's when my back acted up very badly. And it was a thank you note from Melissa Drapka for the donation that we made on behalf of Carl Drapka to the Battle of the Franklin Trustee. Directs all memorial gifts towards the building of the Battle of Franklin Endowment. And I apologize, I should have brought it in here, and instead I threw it out in error. So please extend my apologies to your mother, Mike. Thank you. I'm sorry to the board also. Okay. We have a thank you note from the Riverside juniors. Thank you so much for helping us coordinate storage for juniors. Plus a major show to Bob for his help the day of moving. So Bob must have helped them move.
Well, yes, when they moved their items in, he helped make space for them.
And that was very nice. Well, we received a note from Riverside Public Library. The end of the year is nearing. I want to write and thank you for the generosity which has been shown to the Riverside Public Library in 2018. Your grant fund for purchases for our Children and Youth Services Department will make an impact on children in the community. A label acknowledging you as the donor of these pieces of equipment have been placed on each item so that they know that the generosity was coming from our board, and they wish us happy holidays. There's also a note here to the Riverside Township from Riverside Art Center. Board member Kim Dixon let us know that there was some interest on how RAC selects exhibits in the Riverside Town Hall. The gallery director solicits artists to exhibit work in the town hall through a variety of community outreach methods. Periodically, we will post calls for artists on our Facebook site to alert members of the Riverside community and our Facebook followers that we are currently seeking artists to exhibit their work. We also have email blasts. Through these two methods, we were contacted by local artist Sandra Reagan, so on and so forth, and that's how they appoint it. I also include our newest exhibit catalogs gathering, which acknowledges Riverside Township support. So if anybody would like to look at this, I can pass it around.
Sure.
I think got interest over there.
And let the records know, Trustee Lumfer is 7:05 in attendance.
Okay.
Thank you, sorry for being late.
Glad you could join us.
Yes.
All right, thank you. There were no action items there, so thank you for the communications, and they'll be placed on file. We have no visitors, so I won't call for any visitors' remarks. A couple of notes under my supervisor's report. We did have at least one straggler for turkeys. So 36 turkeys were distributed. We still have 6 that will create an option in case somebody doesn't want a ham now for Christmas. The hams were purchased today. The rest of the fixings will be purchased for the rest of the week, and next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday will be pickup days for the holiday meals. We've had a very busy nurse's closet of late, both returns and new items going out. As a matter of fact, there was one item that we ran out of the other day. We just didn't have another one to give. That was a bath transfer chair, something where people can transfer like from the toilet onto the bench and then slide over into the tub. And that was not, that we just didn't have anymore, or we put out the last one. Anyway, so that's been extremely popular, and we've been getting a lot of very positive feedback. So I'm not sure if the newsletter made more people aware of it, or if social media people are starting to tell each other. But I have noticed both on the Riverside and the North Riverside, there are groups on Facebook that people are looking for something, and somebody, doesn't always have to be me, somebody will pop up and say, check with the Township Nurse's Closet. Food pantry hasn't been any more busy than usual. I would also like to report that the website is underway. Right now, Via Digirati is, they are downloading and transferring all of our current information. They've already obtained a website, and and we will have the possibility of having emails for each of the trustees under the new website. Please. Anyway, so that is underway. We've had some further questions brought up as to how certain things work. There were some things that were a little hard to access because Toy had been changing their website, so it's a perfect time. They didn't even give us notice that there was going to be anything happening, and then there were a couple of days when you couldn't even access any of our downloadable items and so forth. But she's been working on that. You will find in the warrants, or when you inspected them, you would have found that we did cut the check, the lump sum check for the first year, and then we are, or the upfront cost, and then the monthly fees, because of the way they're billing, and we would have always been late, the way they bill, so I just had them invoice, so you'll have the invoice for the first month, which will pay this month and will be for January, so otherwise January would be too late. So they actually started work on December 1st. They were ready, we had the contract all agreed to before Thanksgiving, but it was so late in the month, I said, you know, let's not complicate it. So that's what's going on with that. And still working on trying to find a time when we can paint this room so that we can put those sound panels up. The utilization of the building has started kicking in. We've had more inquiries, but no follow-up. There were some people, a couple of families who inquired about having their family holiday parties here. Maybe the look on my face when I said, oh, Christmas Eve, huh, or Christmas Day. I mean, I was willing to come and open up and so forth, but we did not have follow-up on those. But we are getting more inquiries about future events. And the events that we've had so far, we've really had no issues with. So I'm very happy to report that. And that's about all I have today. I'll be happy to answer any questions on ongoing projects that you might want to know about.
I do, maybe it would be new business, I don't know, but there's actually two things. One is for the auditorium. I've been to a couple of the extra events. Here there's going to be one coming up soon. Where my son's having his birthday party here. The one thing I've heard is the sound is horrible.
It is, and we're trying to figure it out. Other than amplified sound, which I already, the same group that that has, you know, recommended the panels here. Panels would probably not be the best aesthetic up there. However, there's some speaker things that he indicated we might be able to. That was good case. That we might be able to utilize, but the sound in there is rough even otherwise. So most recently I've considered maybe we should get drapes for the windows, because any fabric will help to, and so I want to discuss it with our consultant on that and see if that might be a possibility, because the blinds in there just contribute to the sound bouncing off of those walls.
Right.
So it is something that I know we need to address. If we had carpeting, it would be different, but we have hardwood floors. If we had any kind of fabric in there, it would help. So I know we do need to work on that, because it gets to be a very noisy room.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't have to make it the Taj Mahal.
No.
And there is a certain aesthetic we have to follow.
Exactly.
But within those confines, I mean, I think we can, hopefully we could look into some solutions. The drapes at night would be great. You wouldn't miss the sunshine, that kind of stuff.
But even during the day, I think that just them hanging on the sides within the window, any fabric does help the acoustics in a room like that.
Yeah, definitely. And then the other one would be, I'm over in Stickney Township at my office, and they send out very targeted mailings. I shared one with Supervisor Will. One would be for seniors, the senior programs, our exercise class, our nurse's closet. Another one could be just to, a certain specific demographic for renting the hall. It wouldn't be every door delivery, that kind of thing, but maybe we should look into some kind of marketing almost, some kind of, hey, here we are. I don't think, with such a small district, I think we could do it pretty affordably. I do it for my business. We're talking a couple thousand, not 20,000.
And what kind, are you talking mailings, or are you talking?
Yeah, I would talk targeted mailings. So you would send, within the township, you'd send this mailing to all residents with 65 and over. The mailing for the hall rental would be, dual income with kids. Or, you just figure out what targets you want and maybe send out, in addition to our newsletter, a nice glossy postcard flyer. I emailed Supervisor Wilt the one that I got. maybe it's just something we look into, look at the pricing, see if it's something we want to pursue. But, you know, for our exercise class, it's such a wonderful resource that we have. Yet, you know, not as many people know about it. So, you know, just a little bit more targeted tooting of our own horn, so to speak.
All right, something to look
And
into.
the exercise class, so.
Has a limit.
That's
has a
probably
limit.
full. But
Well,
that's
no,
just
but
a,
You know,
I mean,
and
The instructor has a limit on how many
Right.
people he can
But that's
manage.
just a- for
right, so
instance,
then, if we, you know, if we got more than his limit, then we would have to hire an assistant for
Right.
him, which,
but again, that's just a for instance. So the
Yeah.
food pantry, you know, once a year we send out a food pantry mailing. Once a year we send out senior activities, you know, that list all the different things we do. So just more, not necessarily tooting of our horn, but reaching out to our consumers of the township services and letting them know that we're here. You know, just like the nurse's closet.
Okay, thank you. Any other trustees have anything to report or issues to raise?
well, first of all, I want to thank Vera. She was here during the holiday stroll, handing out chocolate lollipops.
And I return the thank you because Mary Robb was here most of that evening as well.
So it's really fun, and we really should all, you know, come down and help Vera or take turns doing it. Because it is fun to see all the people and say hello. It was really busy because the Children's Theater did a preview before the magic shows, and then the Hauser Choir was here.
It was all District 96, so it was
Okay.
the younger
Yeah.
groups too.
So that was good. The seniors had their Christmas party at the golf club. Once again, I had a low number. I only had about 14, whereas I tend to have between 20 and 25. But we have a real good singing group that comes called the Frozen Robins that are very interactive, and they were also here last year, and so they remember the seniors and the different people. And Tim's dad got up and did Blue Hawaii and doing you know, the hula dancing along with some of the other seniors. So they really had a good time
Nice.
on it.
Do you think that those luncheons, because there is a cost, that's what holds
Well,
people
there's
back?
only the cost for the Christmas party. The pizza party
Right, I
doesn't
know.
cost
Right.
them. So I don't know if, you know, both of those, I think we're on a Tuesday. I don't know if Thursday's a better deal.
Okay.
And the other thing is they vote on paying that $25 for the
Okay.
Christmas party to have it at the golf club.
Okay.
Because every year I ask them, you know, do you want to do this? And they seem to really
Okay.
enjoy it
Mhm.
a lot, but we can always reevaluate next year.
Mhm.
They do want the singing group back,
Okay.
but, you know, our location can change.
Well, again, hopefully a more regular schedule, because you're gonna
Yeah.
get us calendar dates for all of the upcoming, when there's a meeting, when there's a program, whatever.
Right.
Because that's one where I really think that we should have more people that are
Yeah.
participating, and we don't seem to get the crowds even for the monthly meetings that I think we have the potential to.
Right,
With
yeah.
the demographic that we have in town, so.
Well,
That's,
yeah, as I said, we're gonna change it next year just to a senior kind of drop-in where they just come in and talk.
mhm.
And I don't really have a program, but they get refreshments and then kind of an outing once a month.
Okay.
So the first one, not an outing once a month,
Once a
an
quarter.
outing once a quarter.
Right.
So the first program will be the group switchback, which will be sometime in March.
All right. Trustee Drapka, do you have anything?
No.
Thank you. Okay, mental health board reports are in your packet. We normally have the chairman present to answer any questions or summarize, but I think that it's pretty self-explanatory. We only have the minutes of their meeting this time. We didn't get a lot of other material, and they do not have a December meeting. So we will be asked, I'm certain though, that, to find a replacement for Judy Novak on the board. So please consider how you'd like to go about selecting that. I think that the board would like a representation, a cross-section of the township. She was from North Riverside, and I think she might have been the only North Riversider on that board. So we probably should consider
Somebody from North Riverside.
Someone from
Is the
North
board, is the mental health board gonna make recommendations and then?
I have to
kind of
work
vote
that
and
out. When Tim's feeling better, I'll broach the subject as to whether they've had any, any discussion about how they want to go. So that, we might want to open it up and invite resumes and then consider it, but I think actually this board appoints somebody to that board, so.
Oh, okay.
All right,
And then this agency appreciation dinner,
yes,
is that us being invited?
yes.
All right.
Yes, you are invited to that as well. They're planning that, as you see, for Wednesday, the 16th, and they have representatives of the agencies they deal with, and they invite our board and theirs. Alrighty. Next up, unfinished business, we have the adoption of the tax levy. And last month, I asked what you wanted us to look at. We have calculations here for a 1.5% and a 1%. Please bear in mind, and when they wrote it up, they didn't do that, but should we go to the 1%, the mental health board has asked for the 1.5%, so we could do the 1% for our general town fund and for our general assistance fund, but the mental health one would cross over and do the 1.5%. What is your pleasure? Do I have a motion for?
I'd like to make a motion to raise the taxation to a 1.5 levy on all the taxable property in the Riverside Township in order to meet and defray all the necessary expenses and liability of the township.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by trustee Drapka, second by trustee Clark to go for the 1.5% levy to, upon all taxable property in the township to meet and defray all necessary expense and liabilities of the township. As you might see in the commentary in it, any unaccounted for funds would go into the building, the capital improvements, so. Any discussion?
What is the tax to the max percentage? Is that 2.5?
It's 2.5, I believe, yes, because that is the CPI.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 2.3.
It's over 2.
It's over 2, under 3.
I'd prefer the 1%. I don't think it's that big of a monetary difference. I understand every time we don't take it, it resets the next time and the next time. So it's a compounding issue. But I just think it would be a great message to send to our constituents that we're being fiscally conservative and with our money and their money. And it would be a good message to send to them. But the 1.5 is acceptable because it is so much lower than the maximum. So if there's any taste for doing 1%, I'd be happy to do it, but the motion now is for 1.5.
Correct, the motion is for 1.5. Any other discussion? Then Clerk Blau, would you call the roll?
Trustee Clark,
Yes.
trustee Drapka,
Yes.
trustee Holland. I almost said
Just call me Tom.
Luffer.
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes.
Motion is carried at 1.5%.
Thank you, and then the truth in taxation certification will also be executed based on that 1.5%.
And then we have to post it on this.
Yes, that will be posted, and, yes, we can, yeah, that's the one.
And not this one.
Yeah, correct, I signed that one.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Just an update on the discussion we've had, and we're actually starting the practice today already. The discussion regarding the new law requiring clerks to attest to all checks written. Our attorney has drafted an attestation which will be attached to the warrants each month upon Clerk Blau's review of that and this board passing the warrants. So, as I said, we're gonna implement that right away, and I spoke to our attorney about this again, and apparently the lawyers, the Township Lawyers Association and Township Officials of Illinois are going to go back into some discussion, come up with a clearer amendment to the law so that there's not this excessive application of the law where a clerk would countersign every single check. It was actually proposed by Township Officials of Illinois, but the legislation wasn't stated quite as clearly as it could have been. So that's where that stands, but according to the Township Attorneys Association, what we are doing is in compliance with the actual law as opposed to the interpretation of toy. All righty. I don't think so.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, and so that's all I have on that. There being no other business, we can go to the warrants.
So I move that the board authorize and ratify payment of the bills identified on the general warrant in the amount of $13,216.54.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the general warrants for December 11th, 2018 in the amount of $13,216.54. And Clerk Blau, would you call the roll, please?
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Drapka?
Yes.
Trustee Lupfer?
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, I make a motion that the board ratify and authorize payment on the following warrants. Utility warrant, $1,532.32. Payroll warrant, $12,998.14. Health warrant, $1,844.68. Grants in the amount of $4,256.28. General assistance, $600. Township radio players warrant, $200. Food pantry warrant, $105.24.
Thank you. Then, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Lupfer. I have a motion and a second to approve the following warrants for December 2018. Utility warrant, $1,532.32. Payroll warrant, $12,998.14. Health warrant, $1,844.68. The grants warrant, $4,256.28. And the general assistance warrant in the amount of $600. Township players. Yes, township players warrant in the amount of $200, and food pantry warrant in the amount of $105.24. Clerk Blau, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Drapka?
Yes.
Trustee Lupfer?
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt?
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you. And that brings us to the end of our meeting. I hope that everybody has a very, very happy Christmas. May all of your holidays be very blessed and happy and rich and uneventful for and also your new year, because we will meet again in January. And if there's nothing more, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Is that a grant month? January?
February is our grant month.
February.
Yeah, so we have a little time.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion by trustee Clark, second by trustee Drapka to adjourn the meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. Motion is carried,
And
meeting's
same
adjourned.
to you, Vera.
Yes, thank
Yes.
you, Vera, that's what.